Hello and welcome to the Everyday Eurasia podcast, inspiring faith for every day. Each day we are on a journey with Jesus in our churches, our homes, our workplaces, and in so many different places around the world. Isn't it beautiful that no matter where we are, we can walk with Him every single day? Jesus is the one who connects us all and stands at the very center of our lives, day after day. Through this podcast, you'll hear voices from across the region, sharing devotionals that reminds us of God's presence in our everyday moments. This week we're joined by Linda Louw. She has been a missionary for 26 years, a mother of 4 precious daughters for 37 years, and wife to a strategic and wonderful man for 40 years. She has lived in 7 different countries on 4 different continents. She is a graduate of Point Loma Nazarene University and has at varying times been a full-time elementary teacher, mom, and pastor's wife. Linda is now pursuing ordination as an elder in the Church of the Nazarene. Her current assignment is coordinator for Advocacy for Women in Leadership on the Eurasia Region. She passionately desires that all people, especially women, are provided with opportunities to lead within the church, as lay people and as ministers.
Ruth returns to Naomi, secure in her engagement to Boaz. The 2 brave women have overcome so many obstacles to reach this point in their lives. Each has taken the initiative to secure the future of the other. Ruth in gleaning the grain, and Naomi in orchestrating the circumstances by which Boaz would consider Ruth as his bride. And pledging himself to Ruth, promising to spread his wings over her as her redeemer, Boaz becomes the answer to his own blessings in chapter 2. The Lord, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Boaz will be that refuge for her, and not just for her, but also to the mother to whom she has pledged her life. There is another kinsman redeemer who is even a closer relative than Boaz, who might claim the right to inherit Naomi's property. He pledges to take care of it for Naomi. Again, we clearly see the hand of God at work, though he is not given the credit for the action. It just so happens that as Boaz comes to the city the next day to resolve the issue of Naomi's inheritance, the kinsman appears. Together they sit at the gate, along with 10 elders and a crowd of onlookers. Boaz skillfully makes him and those listening aware that as a near kinsman, he has been sadly negligent in attending to the needs of Naomi. The kinsman is given the choice of redeeming the land which Naomi has. However, if the kinsman chooses to redeem the land, it is with the understanding that Boaz intends to marry Ruth, the Moabite, and if they have a son, he will be heir to Mahlon, Naomi's dead son, claiming back the land the kinsman might choose to redeem. This clouds his chance of an inheritance, and so he willingly parts with any right to the land. This all leads to our happily ever after. Ruth and Boaz marry. They have a son. And if this was the story of their romance, it would end here. But this has never been a story about them. The driving force of the story was about the care of a vulnerable, childless widow. The story began with Naomi and ended with her. Her journey began with emptiness and now ends with her hands full of hope, security, and love. Their son Obed is placed in her hands as the grandson she had no hope of having. The same women who pitied her when she first returned to Bethlehem now bless the Lord for providing for her a redeemer. And even though we seem to have a happy ending for everyone now, God is not done. For Boaz, the son of a harlot from Jericho, and Ruth, a poor and vulnerable Moabite, become the great-grandparents to a boy named David, who will someday become the king Israel does not have in the days of the judges. Through their line, the Messiah would come, the Messiah who would redeem the world because of God's chesed, his committed devotion to all people, both the Gentile and the chosen seed of Abraham. A Messiah who would fellowship with sinners, be they prostitutes or tax collectors. A Messiah who would give hope and dignity to a hated Samaritan woman living in adultery. So ultimately, the story of Ruth is the story of a God who loves and redeems. The chesed, the living kindness of Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz, reflects God's passionate love for us. Love is always embodied in action on behalf of others. And God has chosen us to be agents of his redeeming chesed, to be like Ruth, who pledges to care for her mother-in-law, come what may, to be like Naomi, who is willing to forego her hope for a secure future, to give one to her beloved daughter instead, to be like Boaz, who chose to offer kindness to the stranger and the widow, to care for the vulnerable and marginalized, no matter what it cost him. Jesus still calls to all of us to partner with him in sharing his Father's chesed. It does not matter from where we come, what our social standing is, or whether we are male or female. We are all called to make a difference by showing kindness, love, and mercy. We read in Matthew 22, "Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." Father, forgive us for the times we should have offered compassion, but made excuses and turned away. We give ourselves to you, to use for your redeeming purposes as you choose. In a world full of pain, heartache, and confusion, give us the wisdom and will to be an agent of hope, restoration, and redemption. Amen.
Thank you for listening to the Everyday Eurasia podcast, inspiring faith for every day. For more everyday stories, subscribe on this podcast channel, follow our socials Facebook and Instagram, or our newsletter snapshots. For our newsletter and further information about the Eurasia region, visit our website eurasiaregion.org.